Bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Yes, good evening, one and all. Welcome back to your weekly edition of TG Touchline Gunners. It's your boy SB Carbaholic, and yes, back on hosting duty. We are doing tonight a season preview pod, looking ahead to the season. Yes, so that any questions you guys love to hear, you guys love to talk. So we're going to get into that. We're going to dissect all of that good stuff. You know, we have been very busy on the patrons over the summer, so I hope you guys have noticed. And obviously, it's also reflected in the new subs. So everyone new to Patreon, we love you. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you enjoy the stuff. Hope you enjoy the good content. If you've got any suggestions, stuff you'd like us to do feel free also to let us know. This week, obviously, we've already viewed from the ops piece, which was taking a look at the Noni Madueke signing with Chelsea Hour. Today was obviously the season preview, and before Sunday's game against Manchester United, they'll also be doing a United preview. So yeah, some good Patreon content for there as well. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Sign up for as little as £3 a month. So yes, but we're going to get into all of that good stuff for this pod, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by German and Shabs. How are you fellas doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm all good, man.
I'm blessed. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right, bro. Yeah, the energy's a bit low today. Listen, maybe for one reason, for multiple reasons, but yeah, we ain't gonna dwell too tough on that. We want to get straight into it because there's quite a few questions. Shabs, I'll start with you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 to go through. First one, Premier League position. Where are Arsenal finishing this season and why?
Third.
Okay.
And why is because I'm not sure that ultimately we've done enough to move the needle, enough to cover all states across the course of a season. So for the acquisitions that we have had, some have been smart, some have been functional. The ones which I think move the needle are Zubimendi and Gyökeres for the positions that they've come in. I think Zubimendi, for me anyway, is a value add. I'm on tape talking about this guy and the pros and cons about him for a long time. Yeah, I just think watching him so far, I think he's, it's clear. You can see the level of quality that he has, the footballing IQ that he has. And I think, yeah, if it clicks, he's going to help us immeasurably. So, yeah, I'm satisfied with that. Gyökeres, again, very similar. I think if Gyökeres clicks, I think what he's going to do is add decisiveness in the box and finish and bag goals. So I like those as value adds, but I'm not sure that ultimately we've done enough across the rest of our recruitment so far this summer that moves the needle forward enough. Beyond that of Liverpool and beyond that of City for me. And it's not to say that they're amazing teams. I think they've got gaps, they've got deficiencies as well. But I'm also not going to sit here with rose-tinted windows and ignore the deficiencies that we have as a club, basically.
Okay. Third, German. Arsenal's Premier League position this season and why?
First.
Okay.
And
Let's
why
elaborate.
Because I think we didn't play to our optimum last year for various reasons, but predominantly injuries, in my opinion, have disrupted our season heavily to key players. And fitness permitting, I think Arsenal will be right up there. I think Gyökeres and Zubimendi are value adds, as they would, for me, be the icing on the cake. I still think it's a necessary signing, but I think that would be the icing on the cake, and I'd be quite comfortable and confident in us winning the league. Without him, I'm not as comfortable and confident, but I'm still really confident. I think this team will get 85 to 90 points. And if we are staying fit, we could get over 90.
Okay. I will say, I think second. I think last year when we did this, I did go for us to finish first. And obviously we didn't stay fit last season. I don't think we played as well overall. I'm hopeful that with a summer of rest, there was no international tournament. So I do hope we'll have a cleaner bill of health this time round. We have bolstered the squad, so we protected the floor. My questions will be how much of the ceiling have we raised? That's where I'm still a bit skeptical. I do agree with you both. Zubimendi and Gyökeres are both value adds, but in terms of how much of an ad that is, and in terms of some of the concerns we've had, against lower medium blocks, we did see a bit more verticality in going from back to front a bit quicker. So that is probably something to watch out for and to see if that becomes more of a consistent theme. So we'll wait before we judge on that fully. But yeah, I think I'll settle for second at the moment. So let's see. German, I'll stay with you then. Player of the season and why?
Saka.
Okay.
And to start,
I feel like you went with this last season.
Yeah, I think if he stays fit, I think he was shaping up for a Monster season last year before he got injured. If he stays fit again, I think he's got the talent, he's got the timing to really have a big impact for us in all competitions, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it'd be Saka. And I think the other point on him, I think, looking at the way we might be playing this year and the fact that he might be able to get more space, could really render to him having this biggest season yet. So yeah, I'm going Saka as player of the year, not just Arsenal, but like league wise.
Okay, interesting. Shabs, your player of the season.
To be fair, it was the same.
Okay.
For very similar reasons. So I'm just going to give some variety just for everyone else's sake. So I think behind Saka, for me, it's really a toss-up. In fact, I'll just stick with one. I think Rice again. I think Rice leads by example. I think he's immense. I think if some of the latter games, team shape of pre-season is anything to go by, I think we'll see like a double pivot in midfield. If not all the time, we'll definitely see that in more game scenarios similar to when Jorginho used to be paired alongside Rice. And I think it just suits Rice's overall game and overall contribution to the team better in terms of fluidity, in terms of dovetailing with someone like Zubimendi, in terms of them in contributions in all measures in the first and second phase of the game. I think Rice has been immense since he joined us. I think he's clearly improved from the first season to now. I think he's going to have another monstrous season again, to be honest with you. So, yeah, to be honest with you, my pick would have been Saka. But, if I had first, Declan Rice.
Okay. I will pick someone else just to be a bit different. I think obviously Saka is the obvious one. I will go with Martin Zubimendi. I think he is going to be business critical to anything Arsenal do this season. As someone who initially wasn't keen on him, but the more I've watched, the more I've definitely been turned around. I actually think we might end up being at a stage quickly where we rue any game he doesn't play, because I think he's going to have a severe imprint on our style in terms of how he tempo sets, but also the variety and the verticality in which he plays with his passing. So and obviously this isn't a player that you quantify by goals and assists, but similar to the impact we know Rodri has had pre-ACL at City, I think we might quickly be looking at Zubimendi and thinking, gosh, we should have had this brother earlier. So I will go with Martin Zubimendi as my pick of the season. Shabs, who is going to be your surprise of the season? Player that might surprise us this season, and why? And sorry, when I say surprise, I mean positively as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a hard one, to be fair. I'm not really looking forward to this. It might be, I might say Havertz. I think Havertz is going to make a slight step, a step up in terms of his overall contributions. By contributions, I mean his output. He works hard. He works really hard. I don't think that's in question. He definitely has quality. I think some of the calls have been, my calls haven't been to defend Havertz, to be honest with you. But what I haven't liked is the lack of objectivity when it comes to calling on Havertz, and to say that he's absolutely whack is just, it's not accurate. It's disingenuous. Although I do understand large sections of the fans' frustrations with him because he has quality, but he's inconsistent. I think we'll still see inconsistency in terms of some of his qualities and in terms of some of his actions. But I do think he looks like he is someone who understands the game. He understands our system. He is very intelligent. He is very important to the way that we play and different game states. And yeah, I think he will be a positive surprise this season, even if that's only marginally. But by that, I mean it will be an improvement and maybe his best season in terms of output. And I say that despite the fact that we've signed Gyökeres, I say it with a confidence that, you know, if that's going to be a good thing, I think it may come from Havertz.
Okay, and German, your surprise player of the season from a positive standpoint.
I think Shabs kind of taken the one that I would have gone for. Surprise. I think with a lot of these players, we know what we can expect, but maybe Calafiori in terms of how much he can add to the team if he stays fit. So I think it's a big if, but I think I'll go for him. Yeah, I think he's a good one. He contributed a bit, but he didn't contribute massively last season. So that's the one I'd go for.
Yeah, I think that's a great shout, and that probably would have been my one as well. Fitness permitting with Calafiori. We all see how he's such a value add. He's a really weird player just because he's a bit of a unicorn. He's the centre back, full back hybrid who kind of pops up out wide, pops up in the half spaces, plays and passes the ball like a midfielder. Also very effective in the final third. We saw the 2 goals he scored last season. But the fundamental thing is, it all doesn't matter if he can't get onto the pitch, right? He had like 5 different periods out last season, and that's just not good enough. So if he has similar again, we're going to have to be questioning the value this season, which is a real shame because I think everyone would agree that is a real talented kid. And someone who is, you know, younger than Saka, for example. So sometimes we forget how young he is. But yeah, he needs to be on the pitch. That's the most important thing. My surprise of the season. Gosh. I think Calafiori is a good shout, you know. I don't really know who else I'm going to plump for. Part of me is tempted to say, do you know what's funny? I actually think I said Ethan last summer. Obviously, it's a bit difficult now because he's not really an unknown quantity like he was last summer. And he did get, I think, 9 goals and 2 assists. So if Ethan can add the value there while developing more of a playmaking bag, we can, you know, start to see maybe him pushing for more starts consistently. So I'm going to say him just to be different again. But it remains to be seen how close he can get, because we all saw at times last season when Ødegaard first went down, Arteta was reluctant to use it, and obviously most of his minutes came out wide when Saka got injured. So you know, we bought Madueke, so we know he's going to be taking up most of the minutes out wide this season. So it's another one to watch. German, flop of the season. Flop of the season.
See, flop of the season. It depends what we do at left wing, but it might be someone like, if Martinelli plays a lot of times again this season, I think it could be. I think the fan base could be losing it with him. I think he's really struggled to to pick up his game and add pieces to his game. And if anything, I think he has regressed. I think he could be flop of the season because that position has not really been addressed. I don't want to go at Madueke. I think that's way too easy. And if anything, Martinelli is still the starter ahead of him. So
Sure.
if I look at the starting 11, I would single out Martinelli as the improvement point. And I said this last season as well. I still think I think people are being quite fair on him, and they're having a lot more patience with him than with someone like Havertz, which I think obviously is based on price and wages and whatever. But in the last 2 seasons, Havertz has been better than Martinelli. And to think that one has come under intense scrutiny and basically constant abuse, so the other sporadic. I'm not saying there should all be abused, do you know what I mean? But you know what I mean, the performances have not really resulted in the criticism that it probably deserves. Even though I think the fan base is probably too erratic at this point. So I don't want to encourage anyone to get more criticism, to be honest. But you get my overall point. I feel like he's been kind of getting away with it a bit when there's been others that have played better than him. And that's not just Havertz. I think there's a few that have played better than him. Trossard has. Saka obviously has. I think Odegaard, even last season, where people were lambasting him over the last 3 years, I think it's undoubted that he's been better than Martinelli. So even Jesus has given us small bits where you thought, outside of his injuries, I really think Martinelli has dropped the ball in the last 2 years. If he can pick it up is another question, but I think I would look at him at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. And Shabs, your flop of the season.
I'm not even trying to make it someone else, man. I'll be honest with you, man. Strong projections for Martinelli. I'm not even trying to balance it up like before. Like Martinelli's got to hold that. I've not been impressed for 2 seasons now. I'll be honest with you. I've been calling him out. I'm calling him out because I see him capable of so much more. I'm not doing nothing crazy like atting him or calling for him to be abused, but just in terms of performance levels, I personally, as a fan, have felt underwhelmed by him. I want better for the kid, and he's not no small boy anymore. We've been seeing him for 6 years. I think he's been at Arsenal for 7 seasons now. If you think about it, he's going into his I'm sure he's going into his 7th season at Arsenal now. So, there's only so long we can hold his hand, and yeah, he is still developing as a footballer, but he's not a young buck in the grand scheme of things at this club. So he's hit the heights. I keep saying that season that he had, with every poor performance he has, that season he has looks more like the exception than the rule, and he's not looked like coming anywhere close to replicating that kind of form, both in terms of his performance level, but also in terms of his outputs. So he's got to. I'm projecting it to be him if he doesn't kick on. And again, I'm just going to... in fact, I was going to find a cheeky someone else as well, but now let me save it because I feel like you're going to say this. If you don't say it, Sean, I'll add him back, if that's all right.
Yeah, say it, because I don't know who... I think Martinelli's a bit of an easy one to go for.
All right, what I was going to say is the other Martin.
Oh, okay. Odegaard. Yeah, I think I don't think he will flop this season. I think Odegaard will be better this season. So I wasn't thinking of him in that category personally. Yeah, partly he has to, but also I just don't think he'll be as bad again. Just because, unlike Martinelli, where sometimes I question some of his technical fundamentals, I know that with Odegaard, when he's fully fit on song, that stuff is top, and the basics in terms of the execution. Obviously, he has more of a target at centre forward this year, so I'm expecting a big uplift, both in terms of performance, but also productivity for him. But if he doesn't, I think questions will start to rise. There are a section of the fan base that do question his impact sometimes, and I'm not there. I can see sometimes why people get frustrated with him. I still think he's a top player when fully fit on song, and he is tasked with doing a lot. I also think I'm hoping that Zubimendi's value add will reduce obviously a lot of the build-up responsibilities on him. He can focus on a lot more final third stuff this season. So I'm hoping he can push back to, a few seasons back where he got those 15 goals and he can be more of a value add in the final third with goals and assists. So let's see. I'll leave that one there with you guys then. Okay. Right. Top goal scorer this season, Shabs. And give me a number.
League or what we do? League or all comps?
All comps.
Saka, 28 goals.
28 goals for Saka, all comps.
Yeah, man.
God damn, if he loads that, I'm doing a Ballon d'Or campaign for my brother, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro.
Saka's there, man. Remember,
Yeah.
Saka's got to get it back in blood because last season that injury,
spent too much time injured. Yeah.
that injury really kind of just mashed up his trajectory because Saka was going to the moon last season. Trust me, he was going to the moon, man. We was about to get aboard that rocket ship. And if you think about the quality of some of the goals he scored before the injury, if you think about Liverpool at home, that route one goal, the cut back. If you just think about Saka cutting inside from that right hand side onto his left foot and just lacing it far side, or even lacing it right foot near post, it's just Saka was, for me, he was on the rocket ship. So I think he's got unfinished business. He missed a lot of football, obviously. He hasn't looked the sharpest in pre-season, but I think he's just getting his fitness back, taking it in his stride. I think Saka's got unfinished business, man, honestly. So I think Saka's gonna hit about 16, 17 goals in the league. And I think he'll notch a couple cup goals, and then the rest UCL.
That's serious. That's a serious number, boy. 28. German, do you agree, or do you have someone else down? And what's their number?
Well, he's saying how. So what's the prediction I need to make?
He said Saka, 28 goals, all comps, will be our top goal scorer.
I think Gyökeres like 30.
I like that. I didn't want to go Gyökeres, but I like that.
You're really pushing the boat out.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Any particular reason, or is that just because Shabs explained why he said he thinks Saka's trying to get it back in blood this season? Do you think Gyökeres will be feeling the weight of the pressure, or you just think the changes you sort of seen in pre-season that it will get the best out of him, we will adapt to him, we will sort of play to him, try and make him a focal point?
Yeah, I think he's just a shooter, and that the way we will need to play to play to his strength. I think he's going to end up scoring goals. I think this team will end up getting in a lot of situations again if people stay fit. And yeah, he will score goals. I've seen the positive signs. I still think physically he's a bit behind from what I've seen so far, but like overall, I think I've seen signs that he's going to make the right moves. He's got the hunger. He's got the finishing. So those elements, I think, are at the level that he's got them as well, are good enough for us to expect a big season from him. And a big season is, for me, is like over 20 goals in the league and this 30 in all comps.
Okay. It's interesting, right? Let me stick with you on that point, right? Because obviously a lot of the talk when we got him was that this isn't someone who really scores headers. He's, we know his bread and butter. He likes to run into the channels, makes some runs in behind, and we've seen that so far. But how much stock do you put on it? Because the header he scored against Bilbao was top. You saw the movement he made, the run off the ball, the power he generated off that Zubamendi cross. And he also obviously scored another one from the Madueke cross, right, that hit the post. So it's always interesting, right? Because a lot of the talk was that he's not someone who scores headers, scored a great header, almost scored another diving header. And obviously Havertz scored what some people would call, quote unquote, the goal you sort of expect Gyökeres to score. So how much weight do you place on the things people say they can't do rather than, or is it a case of just environment might demand new things?
Sometimes it's also you don't see them do it. So, if you say someone can't do something, have they even been put in a situation to do it? You need to kind of be able to gauge that, and you probably need to watch quite a few games to understand that and see it. But yeah, so I feel like it's a learning curve and it's an understanding of what this player is capable of. And so far, I don't think like I wouldn't say he's limited in the way he can finish or the way he can move at the moment. I'm just looking and observing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would also agree with you. I'm going to go Gyökeres top goal scorer, but I'm going to say about 27, 20 in the league and maybe like 7 in other competitions, however that stacks out. I also think Saka might hit about 20 all comps as well, which would be a very, very good return. So yes, those are the numbers I will hold for those two. Okay, an interesting one, which might cause some debate here. Sushi, what is an unpopular opinion you think people will hold or you might hold about Arsenal this season? Give me an unpopular opinion. In fact, scrap what I just said. Just give me an unpopular opinion about Arsenal this season. Could be good or bad.
I think we're a lot better than people think we are. A lot better. So
Okay.
the fact that people think like, oh, Arsenal, I'm not sure about it. X, Y, and Z. I just feel like we're just a lot better. And I think that's what's going to surprise people, that the level of the team, we've added some players, yes, but just the level of the team is a lot higher than what last season showed. So, you know, just because last season didn't really work out, as I said, I think predominantly for me, injuries. Yeah, for me, predominantly just injuries, and we didn't really get going, to be honest. As disrupted our season, that doesn't mean that the team overall ain't great, in my opinion. So I think this season, if they can pull together, they can show that with the added signings. So I look at the added signings as, you know, good value adds. I still think our floor or the basis of this team is really strong. So, you know, that's my unpopular opinion. I think a lot of people look at it like, oh, we're going to be out, we're going to be in the top 4 fight. I don't really see it. I think the team is too strong overall.
Okay. My unpopular opinion this season is that I think okay, I'll come back to me. Shabs, what's your unpopular opinion this season? Any unpopular opinion you hold about Arsenal this season?
Madueke is going to be important in a number of game situations for us.
Okay, explain.
Yeah, I don't know if the outrage with Madueke has been about the player quality or perceived lack of player quality, the fee spent on him, or the fact that he come from Chelsea. I personally not in favour of the deal being done. That said, when we looked at the tapes, I wasn't really convinced about him as a player on that right side. But on the left side, when we saw and were analysing clips, I was like, okay, I can see how this player can be functional for us in those type of situations, in that type of context. And for all of his flaws as a player, what is very clear to me is he's capable of beating players 1v1 or even sometimes 2v1. You know, when he's got 2 guys on him, he can get his way out of those situations. Just the issue has been the consistency and decisiveness of the action after he's beat those players. But I think it's an attribute that we have lacked in our attacking line. Maybe bar Saka. So we need diversity, and we need diversity of profiles. We need diversity of attributes and traits. And he offers that. And I think people have been so caught up on the kind of the negatives and the optics of the deal, and you know, the fee, and you know, the opportunity cost, which to be honest, the opportunity cost pisses me off, but let's not get into that. And I think people have been less kind of objective and less analytical about what any upside of the signing might be. Now, I'm not saying he's going to pull up trees, but I'm saying I can see how he can make contributions, make very meaningful contributions in specific game states, in specific game situations that could be very helpful for us. And I think that's an unpopular opinion, definitely. And I think we'll have to see how it plays out over the course of the season.
Okay. My unpopular opinion is that Arsenal have 6 or 7 players that are good enough to start for Real Madrid. Some may disagree. Some may cook me for that take, but I would say, in my opinion, Gabriel and Saliba, which I think is a given. I would have MLS or Cala over any of their options. So I'm at 3, right? I would have Zubin, Mendy, and Rice over their options, and I would have Saka, who I think would get in. So that's 6, right? But some might disagree with that, but it's a little unpopular one. I was also going to push one about Timber, but I'm going to have to hold off on that one and see how the season pans out first. So we may revisit that one during the season.
What about the goalkeeper? PSG have equalised. Yes.
Oh, what is it? 2-2?
2-2.
Praise G.
What about
Come on!
Come
Brother,
on,
I was going to
4 minutes. Let that goal stand.
Does it go extra time, or is it penalty?
Ramos. It's got to go extra time.
Does it go extra time or does it go pens?
It might go straight to penalties.
Hopefully.
I don't know the rules anymore.
God forbid, man. I just need PSG to win, bro.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Anyway.
Right. Okay.
Would you not take? What about Raya? You don't put Raya in goal for Real Madrid?
I think he's a better distributor, but I feel like I still think Courtois is a better shot stopper. Yeah. So
forget attributes. For how one plays versus how the other plays in the team in the team style of Real Madrid, who would you put?
I don't know if I'm ready to say Raya yet, even though I do agree he's a much better ball player in terms of playing out from the back than Courtois. I still think, we had a debate last season. I think, German, you were part of that, when you were talking about, does Raya have enough match winning moments? Now, I'm not going to say Raya hasn't, because I think I've seen Raya make some very, very good saves for us, but I think maybe there is a potential gap. And I don't think Raya is a net negative at Arsenal, but I think when people say, I don't know how good that Joan Garcia is that's gone to Barca now, when they said maybe is there a step below potentially, we could make there could be potentially something there. So that's potentially something to think about. But who knows? So yeah.
I think you're bugging about MLS and Cala over Camavinga, to be fair.
I'm not having Camavinga down as a left back though. That's what I'm saying.
Camavinga and MLS are the same youth to me.
MLS and Cala starting their left back, man. They ain't got no one like that, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd Kama, and I still really like Kama, by the way, but I think he's someone whose levels have stagnated a bit at Madrid. Anyway, we're sort of digressing. Let's not deviate too much from topic. German, where will Arsenal go? What level will Arsenal reach in the Champions League? Are we a semi-final team? Are we winning it? Finals, quarters?
I think we are a quarter-final, semi-final team, depending on who we're facing. I think if we are meeting, I don't know what Real Madrid are going to be like next year, and we beat them last year, to be fair. And I do think we could beat PSG. I do think we could. We would have good battles with Liverpool, for example, but they could knock us out. We could knock them out. So I think we're quarterfinal, definitely. I think that's what the minimum expectation should be, and then it depends on the date and it depends on what happens on the evenings of those games, to be honest. And I think that's a pretty good chance of going far in this competition, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously, when we went out to PSG last season, we spoke about the margins being the difference makers in the final third. Do you think we have enough of that now, or is it still because that's what would still hold me back from saying winners? I still think I would love another Maverick, and obviously this is where we talk about as a potential Rodrigo, whatever.
This is where I see Aze's value being. This is where I see Aze's value being really high in these games.
Okay.
I mean, in these games we get more space anyway, but I look back at the PSG games and I seem to be on my own when I feel like I played them in both ties. I know the first 20 minutes they had us kind of shook at the Emirates, but rest of the game, we had better chances in that game. We had better chances in the home in their home leg against them, and we didn't convert them. So can Gyökeres help with that? Yes, I do think so. Can Zubimendi help with us playing against them as well? I do think so. We didn't even needed him last year to put the pressure on them, to be honest. But we do need people to convert the chances. So Gyökeres helps with that. But then the chances still fall to Martinelli and Trossard if they don't fall to Saka. And granted, Saka missed a really big chance, but also scored a big chance. So I think those chances will still fall to the Martinellis, the Trossards, the Maduekes, unless we get Eze, and that's the critical part. You know, you kind of relying on luck on someone like Martinelli or Trossard. They can score big goals. We have seen them do it, and they might do it on that one evening. But what's the reliability of that? I'd rather be reliant on Eze or Saka or Gyökeres doing it, and then I'd be quite confident. So that's the difference, I think.
Okay. Shabs, where are we finishing in the Champions League? Where do you think we're getting to?
Yeah, I think I still think we're one short. I
Okay.
think Eze or another high quality attacker, and by high quality attacker, yes, Rodrigo counts, yes, Rafael Leao counts. I'm not talking about the how realistic or how viable those deals are, but that's what I'm talking about, just for the avoidance of any doubt. I think we're still missing that in terms of being amongst the very top. I think if we get to, like, you know, the quarters, some good luck with fixtures and injuries and availability and whatnot, I think, you know, I'd roll the dice and I'd back us to go all the way. But I think as things stand, based on the business we've done, the current state and shape of our squad, unless things shift in the next week or two, I think realistically we're looking at quarterfinals.
Okay.
It's kind of where I pass.
Right. So far,
I still think I think we're top defensively. I think we're still really difficult to beat. I think Gyök is a value. Everything that we said before, Gyök is a value add in attack. Saka's going to benefit from Gyök, who occupies players, who is more threatening. So that's Saka's only going to benefit from that. I don't think teams can still afford to double up on Saka when you've got another threat in that attack line. But if you add a third threat in that attacking line, and you allow Ødegaard to play with more freedom, I think that just becomes a very, very deadly front three. And I still think we're a bit short of that. So
yeah, and even so, I agree with the both point you made. Maybe being short an attacker. I think what I would also add as well is that the teams that tend to win, they have a lot of near misses first. I remember PSG. They went. I think they lost 2 finals. They got to bare semis. I think, you know, the first time Chelsea won, they had quite a few misses before they lost in the final to Man United. They had a few semis. So I think like we might still be another near miss away. I know it's not what anyone wants to hear, but again, that's partly linked to might be experience because this is a new team, but also just lacking another real vital piece in attack, you know. So and I agree, it's these Champions League games are defined by those moments, those guys who can make the difference. So, you know, Saka and Gyökeres might be enough, but I think we're leaving it to chance, and I don't want to leave anything to the margins. A bit too tough. Okay, cool. Shabs, you have not had us winning anything. So obviously you said third in the Prem, quarters in the Champions League. So FA or League Cup, do you have us winning either of those?
Nah, maybe the FA Cup, you know, but the way that we've just bowed out of the FA Cup in recent years, man, I'm not even holding anything to it. The League Cup, I always said I'd like to win it. People keep saying, "Oh, it's an insignificant trophy or whatever." It's not an insignificant trophy. You know, and I'm not talking about like the you know, any kind of financial rewards that come from it or any kind of sporting qualification. But Arsenal haven't won a trophy in 5 years. It'll be 6 years by the time we're eligible for to win and lift a trophy. It will be 6 years. Beggars can't be choosers, man. We can't be in a position where we're still turning down.
I massively agree, man, and disagree. Sorry,
we
I'll let you
have.
finish your
I,
point.
I think we have to respect the integrity of every competition that we're in. I think Arsenal have to, and I think I always liken this to Liverpool's Klopp, man. They just won something. They won something as a team. It was a Carling Cup, I'm sure. And they had these near misses, but they won something as a team, and that was the catalyst. So it wasn't about the significance of the trophy, it was about the significance of winning together. It's the significance of a team accomplishment. This team, as good as they are, they haven't won anything together. We've not won anything. So we need to win anything. We need to win something for me as a catalyst, as a spark to going on to do more. But also, this team, I think, is too good to not win anything. And so, by deprioritizing some of the trophies, some of the competitions that we're in, look at this bastard Vitinha. He missed. He's had a stinker today.
Oh dear.
He's having a howler. Yeah, but yeah, I think beggars can't be choosers.
Has it gone to straight penalties or as an extra time?
Yeah, we've got straight penalties, a penalty shootout. Tottenham are winning on the shootout. Currently, it's one pen. But yeah, man, beggars can't be choosers, and I think as a team, when it comes to like the trophies situation, we're beggars right now. We don't have the luxury of saying, yeah, man, we can win this trophy or we should go for this trophy. Every competition is difficult, so we should just respect and play with integrity in all the competitions and just win, get winning under the belt, focus on that, and then the rest will come. That's what I truly believe.
I don't think League Cup doesn't change our destiny. It doesn't. I don't think it does much for us. Like it doesn't tell the players they can win. In my opinion, like it's just that competition doesn't tell us much. In my opinion, because Newcastle are not going to win next season. They're not going to win the league. Like, I mean, you can use Liverpool as the example and stuff, and City, but ultimately they were good enough to win the leagues. You need to be good enough to win the leagues, and I think we are. And as long as we don't win the league or the Champions League, we're always going to be earning that. We need one of the two before people start respecting the team. That's my view on this. League Cup is not changing nothing for this team, and it doesn't keep anyone in this team. What keeps people in this team is if they win the Champions League, if they win the league, that's when they are believing that this project can keep going and keep going off. But I just don't think that the League Cup is. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but at the end of the day, it's not something I'm looking to put a lot of energy into. And really, if I had to prioritize over something, I'm deprioritizing the League Cup 100%.
You see, I'm not disputing any of what you said. Yeah, because it is not my suggestion that we shouldn't, that it should be a priority of ours or whatever. It's just I am suggesting that we should respect the integrity of every competition that we're in, because it's not as easy as we may think it is. Some of us may think it is to win the league. It's not as easy as some of us may think it is to win the Champions League. To win the big honors, it's not as easy. And I think Newcastle's example is fair, but I would rather, I don't look at Newcastle as a comparator for us. I look at Liverpool as a comparator for us. I look at Chelsea, not Chelsea. I look at City as a comparator for us, and I think they're examples in recent history, in modern history, of teams who needed to get something over the line, and winning something was just a catalyst for them going on to win more and more. And I think neither team has looked back. So again, it's not this is not me putting the Carling Cup on a pedestal, the League Cup, sorry, on a pedestal or anything like that. And it's definitely not me saying I'll prioritize it over any of the other trophies, but I also wouldn't deprioritize it. Not for the position that we're in. We've not won anything, Dan, for 6 years, man. Like it's not acceptable. We need to win. As a team, we need to win something.
Yeah, for me, we need to win something, but it needs to be the right trophy. Like if it's the League Cup, it's just not enough for me. So that's why I'm like, I don't care about the League Cup. I really don't. I only care about the Premier League and the Champions League. They need to be won. I don't think anything else changed our destiny. And I'm happy to disagree with people on the view of that. And I understand people want to collect multiple trophies, X, Y, and Z, but I feel like it's a prioritization piece, especially with the way players, key players been injured, because I don't think you can win these competitions without playing key players. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. Cool. Couple questions to finish off, and we'll just leave it there. All right. Baitface Nate says, thoughts on Tony Adams' comments regarding the captaincy. Would that make a difference to our season's fortunes? Now, obviously, we had a bit of back and forth with this in the group chat. Like, I've never been one who is a big proponent of like the captaincy. Like, I just don't give a damn. Like, I don't place a lot of stock in it. I think football's changed a lot since we had the fist pumping captains. Like, I just want to fill my team with ballers. Like, if you ask me generally, I wouldn't mind Rice or Gabriel being captain, but I don't think that's going to be the difference between Arsenal winning or not winning. Like I just don't see it. Like with me, it makes zero difference.
Conversation still jarring. Like it's like we're focusing
on the wrong things.
On the wrong things, completely the wrong things, man.
I agree.
We should be looking at like why the hell is Trossard still here? Is Vieira still here? Why is Nelson still here? Why we haven't signed the left wing? We're talking about Declan Rice should be captain. Oh, come on, man, spare me, man. Just wasting our time.
I think Tony Adams is a hater, man. I think that interview didn't come across well because when they asked him like whether he likes Arteta, I think some of the comments were a bit facetious. And yeah, I agree as well. I don't think in the grand scheme of things it matters. But yeah, Tony Adams, I can't tell you the last time I've heard Tony Adams, give public opinion. So it looks like he had his audience. He was on his soapbox and he was just using it as an opportunity to be funny and get clout, because he started throwing other stuff in there like Terry Venables and Alan Shearer and taking over the captaincy from him. All of that stuff there. So yeah, I saw it as a bit disingenuous, and I genuinely don't think it matters, I think the captain, the actual who wears the armband on the pitch, is a symbolic thing. We all watch football. We watch football deeply. We know who the leaders are. We know who the tactical leaders of the team are. We know who the technical leaders of the team are. We know who the vocal leaders of the team are. So it doesn't, armband or not, Rice for me is a captain when he's on that field. He's a leader when he's on that field. Gab is a leader when he's on that field. Saka is a leader. Saka leads in a different way, but he's a leader when he's on that field. Odegaard does lead, it's in a different way. So yeah, it's this stuff. Dan's right, you're right. It's symbolic, man. It's symbolic. It doesn't really mean much for me per se. I'll be honest with you.
And the fact that it's such a big focus, it's just like people seem to not have the answers to the things that we're looking the answers for. So they're looking for things that are like not the answers. Like you're just looking in the wrong place, I think. Yeah, that's kind of how I view it on that discussion in general. It's like everyone wants to have this smart answer, this great idea of what needs to be done for Arsenal to win the league. And quite frankly, a lot of them don't have this answer.
Sorry, Dan. Spurs got blamed. PSG pulled it back.
Hold that.
Damn, son.
Hold on, they lost on the penalty.
You was the man, son.
Yeah. It's PSG won on pens.
They won on pens, bro. They snatched it. From the clutches.
I know some Emmers are about to lose it tonight, bro. You know as well, son. You could tell the energy, innit?
Bro. The group was about to go left, bro.
Dad, what? Don't tell me you're going to choose peace. You better light something up right now, bro.
Let me get off this pod.
You better light it up now, bro. Let the listeners know. Don't choose peace. Don't choose peace now, bro.
I'm here for a bad time and not a good time, bro.
You see what they were doing, how they was doing you dirty, bro. You better get it back in blood, bro.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't worry.
Yeah, facts.
Trust me. All right, let's ask.
When it's wartime, word to Drake, man.
All right, let's do two more questions to finish up here. First from Rackmatic. How does Arsenal's midfield and attack stack up against our rivals?
Boy, midfield. I think
Midfield
we
is
got a better
cold.
midfield than Liverpool.
I think Rice and Zubimendi is the best midfield in the league, bro. I'm gonna just put it out there, bro. I actually think I'm gonna
Midfield
just
is
say it
pretty
now,
cold.
bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
I
Man.
think
Midfield is
midfield.
pretty
I
cold.
think midfield. I'd back us against anyone. Attack, maybe it needs a bit more. So yeah, for
Attack.
sure.
There's a question mark because we listen. Gyökeres could arrive and smoke the league starting on Sunday. He could absolutely smoke the league starting on Sunday.
Right.
If he smokes the league, you think him and Saka, that's 2/3. Yeah, that's 2/3 of a potent attack. But it's that third piece, man. It's that third piece. That left wing is, like we said already, it's a clear upgrade. There are other players across the league in general, but across our attack that I'd rather have. I'd rather have at left wing than what we're putting up there currently. So yeah, it remains to be seen. But midfield, Liverpool's midfield isn't. It's not amazing. City's midfield, I think Rodri looks like Rodri. It could be looking peak for Rodri. Could be looking peak for Rodri. Gundogan I rate, but he's not the same. Kovacic is okay. Kovacic for me has been an underrated player, but I also don't think he's amazing. Foden, yeah,
it's over for some of these, man. Like Kovacic, Gundo, probably over for them.
Yeah. Remember, this is City without KDB as well. We're gonna see how I like Reinders. I really like him as a player. I think I think we should have signed him. But let's see how he does. Let's see if Shirky's utilized as part of the midfield or if he's used a bit higher up, a bit further forward. Let's see. That'll be interesting to see. But Shirky, for me, absolute amazing quality on the ball. But in terms of movement, legwork, fitness, that's never been his story. So again, let's see how he copes with the intensity of the Prem. But in terms of on the ball quality and ability,
bro, better make it his story.
Say again.
You better make it his quality, man. This league is unforgiving. And I like Shirky. I've always said I've liked Shirky. So this league is unforgiving. He better, you know what I mean? He's a very talented boy, very talented player.
Yeah,
but,
he's got to run. He's got to run. Whereas fitness, work rate, he's got to go up.
Like even when you look at a player like Özil, people thought he wasn't running. He was running a lot, and he was running loads and sprinting loads. Like just standing on the pitch and doing the skills that you got. It's not enough in the Premier League, man, especially at that level. And he won't last with Pep if he doesn't adapt bits of his game either, because Pep is unforgiving as a coach, man. So we've seen that boy Savinho run and do all these skills and tricks, and so boy, he's looking like he's off to the Super Cup losers. So yeah, man,
hold that. And on that note, hold that, Spurs, you punk. I was going to say something crazy, but yeah, hold that, you punks, bro. Know your place. Listen, Mandem, thank you very much for joining us. For the listeners, for the season preview, there'll be another pod this week. We're going against the Mughal Ops. So listen, we need to rise it. First game of the season. I'm trying to dunk on them, man, too. Guys, strap in. That was crazy, bro. Yes, listen. Firstly, bye Eze. Secondly, we'll be back. I know you guys love the post matches. That was a big staple of our Patreon content, and that will be back. So we'll be back with also another Patreon pod after the United game. So that's like 3-4 Patreon pieces this week. Don't say we ain't feeding the streets, bro. Shabs, German, lads, thank you. Listeners, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Yo, when I spit bars in a raid, man, I go hard like Santan.